If you're trying to learn the harmonica, especially if you're self-taught, there's a shortcut that I'm going to share in this video that can save you years of practice time. A lot of players, when they get into learning an instrument like harmonica or like what I was going through when I was learning guitar when I was younger, we see all the stuff that's on the internet, all the riffs and the licks and the songs you can learn, and I think we naturally assume that that's what you need to do to get better. But in reality, that's only part of the battle, and it's actually not the most important part. Like, getting good at an instrument is less about learning everything that you can do on that instrument. It's less about learning the notes or learning the music theory. It's not even about learning riffs and licks and songs. It's really about one thing. There's one thing that's the biggest bottleneck in your skills as a musician, and that is physical conditioning. Now, hear me out. When I used to teach guitar, I would teach my students a very simple exercise. You'd just go on one string and you'd press the first fret, then the second fret, then the third fret, then the fourth fret. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you go to the next string, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just do that all the way up and down the neck of the guitar. And when I would teach this to students, even if we did literally nothing else, over a few months of doing this, their playing would actually get good. I realized as I was teaching these kids, like, this is the only thing that if I only just taught this one exercise, these kids would become really decent guitar players. And let's think about that. What's actually happening there? Well, in guitar, it's like you're getting used to pressing each individual fret down. You're getting used to picking at the same time. You're getting used to making it clean. And it's the same thing when it comes to the harmonica. What's holding you back, what your bottleneck is, likely not what you know or what you're trying to execute. It's your ability to execute that thing. Here's another example. You know, when you're trying to learn to type on a keyboard, you know what you're going to say, but your hands in the beginning really don't know how to do it quickly. So what do? You have to look at the keyboard, you have to find the letter that you want to press, and then with a single finger, usually you press that letter, and then you find the next letter and you press that letter. That's what they call pecking, right? So you kind of like keep going through, and you eventually can type things, but you're typing really slowly and inefficiently. But when you really learn how to type, you have to place your fingers in the right positions and learn to move the right fingers to the right keys. And then with enough practice of doing that, before you know it, you can just type the thing that you want to type. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to look at the keys. You can just execute, right? The bottleneck is your ability to execute. It's not knowing what letters you want to type or knowing where exactly the keys are. It's really just the fact that you need to build up the muscle memory for your fingers to go hit those keys and do it quickly without thinking. And this comes up in a lot of ways on harmonica. One of the biggest struggles that we go through as harmonica players is bending, right? Bending is hard to do in the beginning, like just actually being able to get your bends working properly. And then you have to actually be able to use those bends in the long term and be able to hit them consistently. One of the hardest bends to hit is that 3 half-step draw bend. This is a E harmonic if you're curious. So if you want to hit that bend, you first have to be able to hit it in the first place. So you do have to learn a little bit about the technique, how you actually execute it. And you do need good information to start learning anything like this. I mean, it's not like the information is pointless, right? If you're not bending correctly, it doesn't matter how many times you go and try it and you work out that particular technique, it might still not work, okay? So there is a value in getting some instruction on how to do these things. So like as an example, I teach a particular bending exercise where you use your tongue and you make some sounds without a harmonica, and then you try it with the harmonica. And when I actually do this with a student, I find that I have a 100% success rate at getting people to be able to bend really all of their holes on the harmonica in the first couple minutes of learning this. So yes, the information is important. So you have to know how to do something correctly to do it actually well, right? But once you're able to do that, then you actually need to go and practice that. And I find that when I do this exercise with students, they'll have this breakthrough on the first day, but if they don't keep doing it day after day for a couple of days, it just doesn't stick. If they they continue on to learn songs that don't use that note, it doesn't stick. If they're not improvising and focusing on using that bend, it doesn't stick. You have to physically condition yourself. Being able to do something once is totally different from being able to do something consistently over and over. It's the same thing with single notes, right? When you're learning to play single notes, it is a challenge to not play multiple holes at the same time. But once you start really figuring that out, you understand the right way to do it, and then you really actually try to play single notes over and over again, it's only then that you start actually being able to do it without thinking. Like, if you just don't focus on this as a priority, you'll never clean that problem up. One thing you really need to understand is that practice makes permanent. So if you practice something the wrong way, it's going to be really hard to break that habit. So as an example, I've worked with a lot of students that someone or taught them wah, or maybe they picked it up on a YouTube video and they do wah like this, where their hands are open at the bottom and then they'll just kind of like go like that, right? When they want to go and do wah. That can work if you are doing it correctly, but a lot of times when I work with these students, they're not cupping the bottom of the harmonica. And so when they go to do wah, it doesn't really sound like wah. But because they've been doing that one particular action for so long, it's really hard to change the way that they do it. It's hard to break that bad habit and turn it into a better habit where they're properly cupping the harmonica and getting a nice wah tone. And you can hear the difference. If I don't really cup the bottom, it's more like this, which is what a lot of players do. It doesn't really work. So you need to understand the things that you are conditioning first. It is very important, because if you don't understand them correctly, you're just making a bad habit permanent. So you want to instill good habits, but when it comes down to actually using them, you need to keep using them consistently over and over. And before you know it, those good habits are made permanent. Now, there's a lot of areas where this really comes up on harmonica, and the one that I usually gravitate to is scales. So if you don't know scales on your harmonica and you go and try to play with somebody, you put on a backing track or something, you're really limited to just kind of blindly choosing notes and playing the riffs and stuff that you've learned from different videos and books and courses that you've taken. And this is fine. But then if you get put in an unfamiliar musical situation, like you're not playing over a 12-bar blues, you might really struggle with it. Now, if you learn your scales and you can condition them and you can train them day after day after day, then you go put on that music and it'll be pretty easy to just kind of flow through the instrument. I mean, if we really think about it, right? Like, here's the blues scale. That's just the middle octave of it. But let's just say, if you're really struggling to just play those notes like this, like if you're fighting to find the pitches that work, when you actually go and play music, you're also going to be fighting to find those pitches. But if you do some conditioning, that's the way that you're approaching your practice, and you just train that every day and you get used to doing this scale with the metronome, so eventually you can flow through it like this. Wouldn't it be easier to just kind of do those same motions over a backing track? That's really what I'm trying to say, is your skill in music is limited to your ability to execute those skills. So you need to change your mindset. It's not about learning more notes. It's not about memorizing the notes. It's not about music theory necessarily. It's not about riffs. It's not about songs. I like to think about it like this, especially in terms of improvising, is that your ability to play good music is a mix of your ability to execute and your ability to actually like understand what sounds good and play something that's good. And if your understanding is really high, but you can't execute it, then this is your bottleneck, right? Like, you just can't play very well. If your understanding is very low, but your execution is very high, your music might be kind of boring, but at least it's going to sound good. So ideally, we want to keep these kind of in balance, or get your execution very high and then slowly build up your understanding. And this is something that you can do with an instructor. You can do it with courses, with YouTube videos. But I just want you to think about this. If the execution is your problem, you need to do something different to build up that ability to execute. You need to view this as a game of physical conditioning. And then just as you learn more, you'll start learning more things that you can do to make cool sounds as you play. Now, how do you actually do this in practice? Well, you need to understand where your bottlenecks are. Like if you can't play single notes, then you got to learn some kind of an exercise that can help you play single notes. If you don't know what notes sound together, you need to learn some exercise on that helps you learn what notes sound together. If you can't bend, you need to learn the right way to bend, and you need to practice your bending so you can actually execute it. But this applies to so many different things. It applies to chords, it applies to, arpeggios and octaves and different techniques like vibrato and glissando, all of these things. There is an execution level and an understanding level. And your understanding, if you've been studying the harmonica, might be up here, but if your execution is down here, then your ultimate skill is going to be low, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Now, the particular exercises that I would suggest are this. First of all, I think scale practice, especially with a metronome, is one of the most effective things that you can do because it helps you practice the execution of a whole bunch of different skills at once. It shows you what notes sound good together and helps you ingrain these in your mind. It develops your ear, so you start understanding the sounds that you can make on your harmonica. It trains your single notes if you're focusing on that as you play. It trains your bends. It's a really great catch-all exercise that will help you become a better harmonica player. And if you want to go learn how to do that, go check out my free scale cheat sheet. The link is down below in the description. But that's just one thing that you can go and practice. Another thing that you can work on is any other skill that's holding you back. So I said chords a minute ago, okay? So if you know that you need to practice your chords, practice playing your chords every day. So like this, you can play your chord in the low octave, the draw chord and the blow chord, but then maybe some of your double stops. And if you can come up with some sort of a practice or exercise to develop these and develop your ability to execute on them, then they'll get better and it'll be more natural to use these chords as you go and play. The best way that I've found at developing this ability to execute your different skills is to focus on them while you're improvising. So something that I like to teach my students is this process I called intentional improvising. So what intentional improvising is, the concept's actually relatively simple. You just choose something that you want to develop. So let's go back to that wah idea, right? So you want to work on your wah. Okay, great. So what you would do is, first of all, you need to understand the basics, okay? Because if you practice a skill incorrectly, you're gonna just be left with a bad habit. So you need to make sure that you are actually doing something correctly. And this is one of the areas where having an instructor, having a private lesson coach, or being in a system where you can get feedback or something is so important, because it's very easy to spend months, if not years, doing the wrong thing just because, realistically, you don't know what you don't know, right? So once you figure out the right way to do things, then, you can do a bit of practice every day, just doing wah. But the way that I really like to suggest that you do that is you put on a backing track, and then just as you play, you give yourself a bit of a focus. Like, I am going to play, but I'm going to hold some notes. And when I hold those notes, I'm going to use wah. So I'm not going to put on a backing track at the moment, but it's kind of like this. Like, you just play. And you'd use this style of playing to help you develop your ability to use wah. And before you know it, if you just do this for a couple of days in a row with each skill that you're learning, these things will just start coming out of you naturally. So you do need to build up your understanding, but you really need to build up your ability to physically execute on the skill. And I think the best way to go and do it is to do it while you're actually playing music. Think about your own playing. What skill is holding you back? Are you able to execute on the ideas that you have? Because if not, come up with an exercise that you can do to practice that skill, and do it every day for a couple of days at the very least until it starts getting better. And I suggest the best way to do that, at least for most players in the beginning, yes, playing it over backing tracks, but but the most simple way of building up most of your skills at one time is going to be scale practice. And again, if you want to learn how to do it, I have a free scale cheat sheet. The link's down below in the description, which will give you the training and the tabs to get started with scale practice. So that's it for this week. I think you'll really enjoy this video up here. Subscribe if you're new. I just hit 30K subs. Thank you guys. I'm so glad to have you here. Let's go get better at the harmonica. I'll see you next week.